Good morning, friends. My name is Rakesh Kumar Kuntia. Today, we are going to see on the next video on pharmacology introduction. In today's video, we are going to learn on clinical practice. We're going to see about drug discovery, and we're also going to see different societies, education in pharmacology as well. So, before we go with the administration and also drug policy and safety, let me just talk a few lines on the drug policy. So, in US, so we have a federal government of which takes care of the Food and Drug Administration, which is called as the USFDA, which is responsible for creating the guidelines for the approval and use of the drugs. The FDA requires that all the approved drugs fulfill the two criteria requirements. Number one, the drug should be effective against the disease for which it is seeking approval. That is the first instance. Wherever effective means that the drug perform better than the placebo or a competitor, at least in true trials. Second, the drug must meet the safety criteria by being subject to animal and also controlled human testing. Getting the approval from USFDA takes several years. Testing is done on animals, must be extensive, and should include several species to help in evaluation to both the effectiveness and toxicity of the drugs. The dosage of any drug approved for use is intended to fall within a range in which the drug produces a therapeutic effect or desired outcome. The safety and efficacy of the drug in the US are regulated by Federal Prescription Drug Marketing Act of 1987. The Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agencies MHRA has a similar role in the UK. Medicare Part D is the prescription drug plan in the US. The Prescription Drug Marketing Act PDMA is an act related to the drug policy. Prescription drugs are regulated by legislation. Coming to the societies and administration, the UNs of the Union of Basic and Clinical Pharmacology, the Federal of European Pharmacology Societies, and European Association for Clinical Pharmacology and Therapeutics are organizations representing standardization and regulation of clinical and scientific pharmacology. There are different systems for medicinal classification of drugs with pharmaceutical codes that was developed, which includes the NDC, that is the National Drug Code, which is administered by the Food and Drugs Administration, a DIN, which is called as Drug Identification Number, administered by the Health Canada under the Food and Drugs Act, Hong Kong Drug Registration, administered by the Pharmaceutical Service of the Department of Health, Hong Kong, and National Pharmaceutical Product Index in South Africa. The hierarchy systems have also developed, which includes the anatomical, therapeutic, chemical classification systems, which is called ATC, AT, or DDD, which is administered by WHO, World Health Organization. The generic product identifier, that is GPI, is a hierarchical classification published by Medispan and SNOMED. And C-axis, which is ingredients of drugs, have been categorized by unique ingredient identifier. The field of pharmacology overlaps with the biomedical sciences because and is the study of effect of drugs on living organisms. The pharmacological research leads to a new drug discovery which promotes a better understanding of human physiology. The students in the field of pharmacology must have a detailed working knowledge of aspects in physiology, in pathology, in chemistry. They may also acquire knowledge of plants as sources of pharmacologically active compounds. Modern pharmacology is interdisciplinary and involves biophysical and computational sciences with analytical chemistry. A pharmacist needs to develop well equipped with knowledge on pharmacology for application in pharmaceutical research or pharmacy practice in hospitals or commercial organizations selling to customers. The pharmacologist, however, usually work in lab setup under research or develop new products. The pharmacological research is important in academic research, medical and non-medical, private industrial positions, scientific writing, patents, laws, consultation, biotech, pharmaceutical employment, and alcohol industry, food industry, forensics, law enforcement, public health, environmental, ecological science. Pharmacology is often taught to pharmacy and medicine students as a part of the medical school curriculum. So this is how the pharmacy has been growing, particularly the pharmacology in the field of biomedical sciences and also the pharmacy. Coming to the pharmacokinetics, which is study of bodily ADME absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion of drugs. When describing the pharmacokinetic properties of the chemical, that is the active ingredient or the API, pharmacologists are often interested in LADME. So liberation, how is the API disintegrated for solid oral forms, dispensed, dissolved in the from the medication. Absorption, how is the API absorbed through the skin, through the intestine, and through the mucosa, oral mucosa? How the API is distributed throughout the organism of the body? How the API is converted into chemically inside the body, and into what substances? How it is metabolized in the body? Are these active or could they be toxic? Excretion, how the API has been excreted from the body through kidneys, through skin, or through other urine, through bile, through breath, through different forms. Drug metabolism is assessed in the pharmaceutical pharmacokinetics and is administered in the drug research and uh, prescribing, particularly. Now, the field of pharmacodynamics in pharmacology is defined as how the body reacts to drug. So, pharmacology model include the Hill equation, Cheng-Brusov equation, skill regression. Theory often investigates the binding affinity of ligands to their receptors. However, the medication is said to have a narrow or a wide therapeutic index with certain safety factor or therapeutic window. This describes the ratio of desired effect to toxic effect. A compound with a narrow therapeutic index close to 1 exerts its desired effect at a dose close to its toxic dose. A compound with a wider therapeutic index that is greater than 5 exerts its desired effect at a dose substantially below its toxic dose. Those with a narrow margin are more difficult to dose and administer and may require therapeutic drug monitoring. Examples are warfarin, antileptics, aminoglycoside antibiotics. Mostly, the cancer drugs have a very narrow therapeutic margin. Toxic effects are almost always encountered at dose used to kill the tumors. Coming to the theory of pharmacology, we see the chemicals, the study of chemicals, particularly intimate the knowledge of biological systems. With the knowledge of cell biology, biochemistry increasing, the field of pharmacology has also changed drastically. It has become possible through the molecular analysis of receptors to design chemicals that act on a specific cellular signaling or metabolic pathways by affecting sites directly on the cell surface receptors, which modulate and mediate cellular signaling pathways controlling cellular function. The chemicals can have pharmacologically relevant properties and effects. Pharmacokinetics describe the effect of the body of chemical. Example T-half and VD, that is volume distribution, and pharmacodynamics describes the chemicals effect on the body, which is desired or toxic. Coming to the systems, receptors and ligands, the pharmacology is typically studied with respect to particular systems. For example, endogenous neurotransmitter systems. The major systems studied in pharmacology can be characterized by the ligands include acetylcholine, adrenaline, glutamate, GABA, dopamine, histamine, serotonin, cannabinoid, and opioid. Molecular targets in pharmacology include receptors, membranes, transport membrane proteins. Enzymes can be targeted with enzyme inhibitors. Receptors are typically characterized based on the structure and function. And majority receptors studied in pharmacology include GPCR, that is G protein coupled receptors, ligand gated ion channels, and receptor tyrosine kinases. Now, coming to this drug discovery piece in the field of pharmacology, drug discovery is the field of science which is concerned with the study of creating new drugs. It encompasses the study fields of drug design and also the development. So, the drug discovery starts with the drug design, with the inventive process of finding new drugs. In the same most basic sense, which involves the design of molecules that are complementary in the shape and size to a given biomolecular target. After a lead compound has been known through drug discovery and drug development, it involves bringing to the market. The drug discovery is related to the pharmacoeconomics, which is a sub discipline of health economics that considers the value of the drug. Pharmacoeconomics evaluates the cost and effects benefits in order to give optimal healthcare resource allocation. The techniques used for the discovery, formulation, manufacture, quality control of drugs is studied by the pharmaceutical engineering, a branch of engineering. Safety pharmacology specializes in detecting and investigating potential undesirable drugs effects. So with this note, we are going to end today's session, and also we tomorrow's session we are going to brief out what we have studied in this pharmacology. Till then, bye bye, friends, and also please do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment on my YouTube channel. This will help me to develop more and create more videos. Till then, have a great day. Bye bye.